So in 2010, I was at this party. And to kind of make a long story short, I had a near-death experience. And okay, I'm just going to introduce myself kind of so you know me. Before this happened, I went to church maybe a few times, when I was younger. Um, I was kind of connected to believing, maybe there was something. I don't know. This book says there is, this church says there is. People say there's something else besides us, but for the most part, you just kind of never know.
I hope that all of you back on Earth can see what we mean when we say it's a rather foreboding horizon, a rather dark and unappetizing looking place. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
So what happened was on February 20th, 2010, I was at this party, regular party, and basically one thing led to another, and I ended up dying at this party. I had a seizure in the kitchen. The earth kind of turned into black matter, and um, like all the objects and everything just kind of turned into this dark blackness. And then all of a sudden, as you're moving up into the light, which is white, right? Whitish light, um, the black starts disappearing. So all the black goes away because the light's taking it. And then the craziest thing was when I looked behind me, like all the way behind me from where I came from, I saw Earth, and Earth was like, it would be like you standing up and looking down and seeing like an ant on the ground. Like our entire universe was the size of an ant. Like it just made you realize how insignificant this life is. And we're only on this earth for a short period of time, but after this period of time, there's an eternal life that we have to live. And after this happened, I was like, whoa, there is a place you go. And yeah, it's important for people to know that. So anyways, I saw this and then it disappeared. So now I'm completely up in this light, and I see my whole life like flash before my eyes, and I feel like amazing. I don't go any further, it's just light. But I saw my whole life like flash before my eyes. Every person I knew, everything I experienced, like I don't know how it happened that fast, but I got to see my entire life all at once. And I honestly looked at my life and I felt like a complete failure. I felt like I had lived one big selfish life, which was only directed to myself.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Okay.
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator in NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get.
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
And get the hell out of my house.
Well,
Take your stuff and get the fuck out. Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit?
The shadows in the wrong place. I don't give a damn about all that shit.
You're full of shit.
of lunar orbit being falsified.
Being falsified?
Correct. We got an unedited tape from a source at the Johnson Space Center.
Totally nonsense. Mr. Cybro, you do not deserve answers.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
I felt like I had lived one big selfish life, which was only directed to myself, and I never helped anybody on this planet, or I never gave anything. Like, I'm into a substantial amount. Like, really, I just felt like I lived a life that was, I guess now I know the terminology, but like worldly, you know? So I basically said, I'm not ready to go. Yeah, I said I'm not ready to go. And then this voice, which was God, you just know, it's like this very familiar voice that almost to me, what it sounded like was like the tone of everybody else's voice. It was like, this is the voice almost, and then each of us have like a different pitch, lower or higher. And like this was like the voice for all, and we all have like voices stemming off this voice. That's kind of what it was, so familiar to me, you know, and I can't get over it. But the next thing too is when I said I'm not ready to leave, or I'm not ready to go, or whatever, even though I wanted to be up there, I just couldn't leave behind my life at that time. So the voice said to me, if you want to live, show it. And then the minute I said, okay, boom,